In Europe they say that you can only consider yourself an automotive enthusiast once you've owned an Italian car, more specifically an Alfa Romeo.
That's true, and specifically now Fiat, they own Alfa Romeo, and they also own Chrysler, who in turn own Dodge. And the latest descendant from that family tree for North America is called the Dodge Dart.
It's based on the Alfa Romeo Giulietta, and what we will try to figure out today is if the Dart can become the portal from which automotive enthusiasts will spawn out. The Dart is a whole foot longer than the Giulietta and nearly 200 pounds heavier. It is available with the same 1.4 multi-air turbo engine, but the base version comes with a 2.0-liter Tiger Shark VVT, which punches out 160 horsepower, which is exactly the same as a little turbo option. Being naturally aspirated though, it packs less torque, which at 148 pound-feet of torque is 36 pound-feet less than the turbo. The engine lineup finally includes a 2.4-liter Tiger Shark with multi-air technology that boosts out 184 horsepower and 171 pound-feet of torque. The SE is the base trim level and only comes with a 2.0 Tiger Shark engine, and prices start at $15,995. Stepping up from the SE is the SXT, which we are driving today, which starts at $17,559. Other available trim levels are the Rally, Aero, Limited, and GT. The Dart is no doubt one of the meanest and adrenaline-pumping, thrilling to look at compact sedan. I struggle much to remember the previous compact sedan that stood out this much. The front looks like you're getting some serious cut-eye, while the rear racetrack-inspired lights and dual exhausts help compose a sporty-looking car. Add the crosshair grille to it and yes, it's a Dodge. The interior thankfully continues to pleasantly surprise with its unique aggressive styling. The dashboard is trimmed in a piano black shiny finish, and soft to the touch material is used for the upper parts. The center console hosts a massive 8.4-inch touchscreen from where one can control almost every convenience feature. For the more tech-savvy people out there, options to control things like door locks and follow me home lights delay are a plus. A very cool feature is the electric red illumination around the piano black trim and a white glowing strip around the cup holders. Details such as back illuminated buttons for the gas cap and trunk release are very thoughtful, as can be easily found in the dark. The only visible finishing problem is found right in front of the gear lever, where the dashboard meets the center console, as a tiny little gap is noticed.
Now the cabin unfortunately discriminates against passengers in the rear, as the available width only allows 2 occupants like me to sit in the rear, and perhaps a Chihuahua. I don't have a lot of legroom or headroom either.
The front passengers, on the other hand, are snuggled by the very comfy and supporting seats and have plenty of room to settle in. The ideal driving position is easy to find, as the seat can be adjusted in every way. The trunk offers generous capacity at 370 liters, a wide opening, and a low profile for loading stuff easier. The rear seats can also be folded to create even more space. There are plenty of storage compartments throughout the cabin, but the coolest one is for sure the one beneath the front passenger's bum. Ergonomics would score high, as the minimal numbers of buttons have been used and placed properly, but the operation of the Uconnect touchscreen does need a bit getting used to, and the controls for the windscreen wipers could have been left in place on the right-hand side of the steering column. Forward visibility is great, but to the rear, the small side mirrors and thick pillars compromise swift lane changes till you find your way to look around. When it comes to maneuvering and parking, it's not a problem thanks to the fantastic rear view camera and the tight turning circle. Standard equipment in the base model includes 10 airbags, bifunction halogen projector lamps, 17-inch alloy wheels, 60/40 rear folding seats, front and rear armrests, tilt and telescopic steering column, air conditioning with micron filter, keyless entry, brake assist, stability control, and hill hold. The SXT trim level with a customer preferred package 24B, which costs an additional $1,000, adds the 8.4 Uconnect screen with MP3 playback, Bluetooth connectivity, an SD card reader, USB input, iPod control, rear view camera, active grille shutters, automatic headlamps, dual exhaust, fog lamps, illuminated front cup holders, leather steering wheel with audio controls, remote starter, auto dimming rear view mirror, cruise control, tire pressure monitoring system, trip computer, voice command, and underbody aerodynamic treatment. When it comes to performance, the 2.0-liter Tiger Shark VVT power plant at first feels somewhat underpowered, but you soon realize that if you work it hard enough, it can feel lively and remain smooth throughout the rev band. It lacks pulling power at lower revs, and you might find yourself struggling to keep up the speed, especially when you're loaded near gross weight. On the other hand, it does deliver good fuel economy and only requires regular unleaded. During our test, we actually met the claimed city rating of 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers, but on the highway, we couldn't match it, as instead of 5.8, the best we could do was 7.4. Throttle response is good, and things become a lot better when the parochial 6-speed automatic transmission is operated in sequential mode. The bassy soundtrack produced by the twin exhaust is cool when heard from outside of the car, but unfortunately, it sounds a bit bland inside due to the cabin soundproofing. Just as the Giulietta, the Dart uses front and rear independent suspension, McPherson struts in the front and multi-link suspension in the rear. Unlike other manufacturers, the Dodge Dart kept its European layout, and the result of not cheaping out on suspension is that the Dart handles like a dream. The steering is by far best in class, as it responds instantly to any directional input given, and feedback is crisp and informative ahead of time, as per how the 225/45/17 Kumo Solos KH25 tires are doing. The Dart corners almost flat and has very high traction limits. Past its limits, it progressively understeers as the rear remains unwavering on track. The stability control will very rarely interfere, and if it does, it means you're trying too hard to crash. The ride is balanced and packs plenty of finesse as the Dart glides over potholes and rough tarmac. The suspension is quiet enough and it will keep passengers happy the majority of time. At longer journeys, the only annoying thing might be some aerodynamic noises coming from the side mirror. The brakes feel strong and are capable of bringing the chubby Dart to a complete stop in rather short distances, and will take some beating till brake fade starts to appear. The pedal is light and brake force is applied from the very first touch, so some practice will be required before you master your full stops again. Overall, even at $23,500 as tested, the Dodge Dart is by far the best car to drive in the compact sedan class, and its looks stand out of the crowd. It lacks the space and practicality of some, but overall brings back the joy of driving to the segment, which is why the Dart is awarded with our editor's choice.